Welcome to the Big Biz Show, featuring insight, analysis, and a lot of stuff that's none of your business.
Hold on. This is the Big Biz Show. I think it is their business.
Making the markets work for you. Here's the man with the plan, Sully.
Man, see that boxing video? I started boxing again. Man, am I out of shape? Let me put it out of shape, man. How many times I shoot? Yep. No, I'm not there yet.
There you go.
There we go.
And then you got to watch
It's a
the head
4-point
rush.
turn to get up.
The 6-point
Watch,
head up.
watch the head rush. That'll get you every time.
Yeah, same.
Right. Okay, I feel better.
How long does a boxing
Hour.
set? Oh,
But I do one-on-one, though.
right. That's what I'm saying.
You still doing this boxing club, those folks?
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys are awesome.
Fight Club, they don't talk about it.
Oh, right.
That's right. Oh man, that's impressive.
Not impressive that I took 6 months off.
Yeah, but you're back to it.
And now you remember why?
Yeah, but think about how many people
Hey,
take this.
Sully, just get done boxing. I just tied my shoe.
Just lift it.
Actually, I ran up the stairs Padres every time this weekend. You know the
Did
big,
you?
know the big stairs?
Yeah,
You know what time the big stairs?
right.
Went all the way up.
Well, good for you.
Going down, it's like this.
Behind Petco Park?
Yeah.
No, at this stage, going downstairs.
I'm always afraid of just doing a header. I mean, those things are kind of
Oh, yeah.
like a
Going
Mexican
down for me is just
pyramid.
because I have 2 knee replacements. And my knees don't hurt. I just think they're going to hurt.
Right.
So that's why I always go slower downstairs.
Hey, I had a. Thank you for bringing up the Padres game. I was thinking about this. I had a pretty profitable.
Me and the Padres.
Yeah. No, the Padres did not.
We got swept.
Well-
Swept again.
I had a pretty profitable weekend. My daily betting platform is Prize Picks.
Oh.
So I was betting.
Daily betting
I always
platform.
thought it was Prize Pigs.
Yeah.
No,
me
Prize
too.
Pigs and radio.
Yeah.
But Prize Picks, and I was betting against the Padres.
You did?
Well, it was the Phillies, right?
Well, as long as
Phillies,
you're not
yeah,
a player.
because Garrett was in town.
I don't know. I don't bet against the Phillies ever.
No. But is the day and age quickly approaching where we're going to be able to sit at our seats at the Padres game in your box, and it's got to be right around the corner, right? The prop bet. Do you ever bet on sports?
I do not.
Yeah, but you're talking about, because do you remember, we can talk about this, because I want to talk about this because it's a great subject. There was a game on, it was called Cox Cable at the time, way back when,
Yeah.
and it was called QB1.
QB1.
My buddy's dad, Pat Downs, started QB1 right here in Carlsbad, by the way, where we brought. You might be watching us in the whole wide world, but right here in Carlsbad is where it started. QB1 was where you had a wireless device in your hand, believe it or not. Wireless. Wow. This is 1993.
Was it
There
the size of a
are
brick?
no cords.
Oh yeah,
That must have been huge.
it was like this.
Yeah, yeah. Right. Yeah.
Hold on, I got a call.
Yeah. and the base was on the TV itself.
Yep.
According to the coax. Remember trying to get those?
Yeah.
things
Oh,
figured
yeah.
out? And you had a thing in your hand and you're watching Monday Night Football, only Monday Night Football. And you had to predict the next play.
No way.
No way.
Run, pass, interception, whatever. And they had a whole control room like our control. Jared, show me the control room that we have back there, because theirs was 6 times this size.
Yes.
A giant control room. There it is right there. I mean, award-winning director Jared Coleman, doing nothing but standing around going.
Yeah.
And it was wildly popular. And then
Absolutely.
and they tried to add monetization to it, because you could gain points. You know, it gamified it.
Yeah.
It's just who was the best, whatever. That's all it was. And I think they won QB1 shirt at the end of the year or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was to say the fact that you say that on a proposition bet, meaning that bet on anything, curve, slider, fastball,
Well, home run, double, triple, error,
Ooh, that's
every
fun.
single play.
pop out every single play you can do it. Now, granted, if
Let's
you're
just do it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
totally.
I mean,
Have you ever passed the jar at a game where,
you mean the mason jar? Yes.
well, yeah, okay, besides that, but someone has the jar and they put a buck in, and hey, I think Tatis is going to ground out for this at bat. And then if he does ground out, you take the kitty, the next person starts it, and it goes around and around. Well, sometimes that money builds up in that jar. So I think that it's a situation where it's got to be here. It's coming. It's right around the corner. There's no way they can keep it out.
Yeah, I agree.
That would make
I agree.
baseball more exciting.
Yeah.
You would have
I mean,
won a lot of jars last night.
I
because
would.
I think Tatis grounded out several times.
0 for 4.
Let's continue this, because I have an idea.
Okay. I'm in.
Because it doesn't have to do with money.
Without any.
It doesn't have to do with wagering. Big Biz Show. We're back in a second.
I bet on American Idol.
Loft 100 Studios, the Big Biz Show, and our affiliates and our hosts are not registered investment advisors or broker-dealers.
Our show hosts make no commitment that the purchase of securities of companies profiled or otherwise mentioned in our programming
are suitable or advisable for any person, or that an investment in such securities will be profitable in general.
Given the nature of the company's profile and the lack of an active trading market for the securities, investing is highly speculative and carries a certain high degree of risk.
We profile selected publicly traded and privately held companies on our program.
Most of these companies that we profile have provided compensation to Loft 100 Studios and its hosts for the profile coverage.
From time to time, we sell shares of the companies profiled in the open market that we receive as compensation for coverage of client companies.
But never sell stocks. If we are speaking about interviewing or covering a public company who has paid compensation.
Specific questions on compensation can be obtained by contacting producer at sullyentgroup.com.
Listeners should verify all claims and do their own due diligence before investing in any securities mentioned on this program.
Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk.
We encourage our investors to invest carefully and read the investor information available at the websites on the
Securities and Exchange Commission at sec.gov and or the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA, at www.finra.org.
I like it.
Welcome to the Big Biz Show, featuring insight, analysis, and a lot of stuff that's none of your business.
Hold on. This is the Big Biz Show. I think it is their business.
Making the markets work for you. Here's the man with the plan, Sully.
Big Biz Show, rolled on a beautiful day for the Loft 100 Studios. Everybody. Traffic on the 5.
I'm gonna bust you every time. Hey, Big Biz Show.
Start to puke a little bit. 5:05, 5 after 5, 55 before 6 on a beautiful Thursday in America's finest city.
Pretty good at that.
Bob from sales is going to stop in, bottom of the hour. Tell us about the big fundraiser coming up this week.
God, did you ever do morning?
You've been doing this a long time.
You been boss jocking? We haven't. I've never was boss jocking.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Just every minute's got to be filled with, blah, 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 blah. It's just got to be filled with something.
Sweepers, rejoiners.
Oh, my God. Zing!
We were talking about consumer price index in a segment we like to call
Oh, that is
apparently
great.
Ask the dad from Wonder Years.
Was that the first? I was thinking it looked like every Russian mobster in every John Wick movie.
They need to put you in an Adidas tracksuit.
Exactly. in a yellow Lambo. So just we're talking consumer. If you're just joining us, we're talking about consumer price index and what's the easiest way to define it, and it's just monthly change in prices. It should be called the MCP.
Okay.
That's all it is.
So
it tracks the changes that we paid for stuff from the previous month every month.
And it's related to inflation.
So what categories do they use? Groceries, gas?
Everything. Nothing stripped out.
Really?
Well, food.
So then it's a percentage. It's not a number.
No, wait a second. Is this a CPI or is it consumer? Oh, here's the deal. Consumer price index, however, this is interesting. Strips out. Let me see here. Let me make sure I'm saying the right one. I believe it strips out food and gas, which is interesting because the producer price index says. Let me just see something. Hey, Jared, we have to.
Food like
only the two things we're most concerned about.
Right.
Food and gas.
Food and gas.
Right. It's got tennis balls in there.
Yeah.
It's got horseshoes. It's got horse manure.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have.
It removes food and gas because the cost of living index includes food and gas, which is the same.
Oh.
So basically, it's not a perfect inflationary measure, and the reason they take out food and gas in the consumer price index is because it's so volatile, right? I mean, food and gas are like
Right.
But it's probably the cost of living index includes food and gas is because like when you say put a budget together, most people do this: rent, mortgage, gas and electric,
insurance,
streaming service,
cable, streaming.
Yeah.
I've got 5 of those.
That's it.
Lenardi's.
That's their consumer price
Yeah,
index.
that's its whole line item.
Then that's their consumer price index, okay? But their cost of living index would include nail appointments.
He looks at me.
Nose hair removal appointments for Mike.
That's gotten really expensive. Hem care.
No, honestly, pet food. I mean, all the stuff. Like when you first sit down with your girls, and you've already done this, pardon me, like I have. When you first sit down with your girls and say, and you with the Bam Bam and Emma, the rock star,
you're
going to say, put together a budget, and they're going to put together a budget, and they're going to sit down and go, okay, wait a minute, what about? Because everybody forgets about it.
Because they don't know.
And when I first got into investment banking, people would come to me, and when I first got into radio, I'd say, I can find at least $300 a month from almost every household, at least $100 a month from every person per month that you're wasting. And I could, because people forget.
Yeah.
Especially now with subscription services.
Oh, how many?
I mean, it's crazy how many.
When I go on my passwords and there's 7 Netflix. I mean, honestly, that's how it goes. So
we just did the, and I forget who it is, but you can sign up and they go through everything that your credit card is attached to, and then they send you a report like, oh, you were subscribing to this. Did you know that? You're doing this and that. It is liberating. It's like throwing old clothes away or de-junking your house, decluttering.
Yeah.
Doing that with a credit card attached to, like you said, why do all of us have a Hulu subscription? Why aren't that type of thing?
Yeah.
I need my Hulu though.
You save.
I need my Hulu too.
I mean, let's not cut that.
When I look, but here's the thing is, and this is what happens is we become we want instant gratification, so we're on the the TV, and I want to watch this movie right now.
Yes.
Like I wanted to watch Game Day the other day because it's draft night. I love that movie. Kevin Costner. I haven't watched it in freaking 3 years. I want to go in there and take a look at the freaking thing, and I'm like, I get into it, and I forgot and so I had to go to open up a thing with Paramount or Peacock. Yeah. So I got a Peacock thing.
There are people that work the system.
I wish I knew how to do it.
I don't know. I can't do it.
I don't have time to do it. So
yeah, true.
So there we go.
Password.
And instant gratification. I want to watch it now.
So long story short, that's what's happening. And yes, it's all a measure of inflation.
Okay, and the Federal Reserve, they just had this big meeting. Inflation.
Yeah, the Federal Reserve has meetings.
Going on?
Has meetings often, and of course Jerome Powell is the chairman of the Federal Reserve. You can go back to Alan Greenspan, going to Ben Bernanke, going to Janet Yellen in our recent history. Inflation. Let's talk about interest rates. Interest rates are the highest they've been in 23 years.
Wow.
23 years. And in fact, Chloe was not born last time our interest rates were where we kept them.
Lucky.
Highest in 23 years. So the Fed will do something. The Fed is charged with really 3 things: maximum employment, steady prices, and low interest rates. That's what they're actually right on the website. Let's say the first 3 things. This is what we do. Okay. The thing about the Fed was initiated. I can't remember the exact year, but I think it was in the 20s or the 30s. But it was very wealthy families in this country, Carnegies, Vanderbilts, Rockefellers, went to Jekyll Island, got together and created, we own most of the money. We need to figure out how to control. So they got together with some Washington congressmen, and they created what was called the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is not a federal agency. It is overseen by Congress. But nobody really knows who owns the Fed, and nobody knows how much they own. It is highly suspected that the banks that use the Fed are the owners of the Fed. Okay, so let me get this for you. Remember when interest rates right now are between 5.25 and 5.5 discount window rate. Okay, it was at 0 or less than 0 at one point 5 years ago.
Wow.
Does anybody have a 5%? Anybody buying a home today? Can you get a 5% interest rate?
Nope.
No. Anybody who has a car loan, 5%?
Nope.
How about a credit card rate?
Nope.
Pretty good scam, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would suggest everybody read The Creature from Jekyll Island about the Fed, since you brought it up. You're going to see interest rates higher longer, Q4 before they start cutting rates. One of the strategies for the Fed is that they keep interest rate high to stave off inflation. They want you to stop spending money on your credit card.
Yes.
Okay. Keep in mind that discount window rate. Okay. The discount window rate is the rate that the banks are charged by the Fed to borrow money, okay? So the Feds are the borrowers, they're paying 5%, and they're charging you guys for your stuff, all right? Now, This doesn't affect mortgages, and the reason I brought up mortgages anyway was because the 30-year long bond affects mortgages, but it affects savings rates for elderly, so it hurts. It helps savers, but it hurts credit cards, hurts auto loans, hurts those types of things, and increases up prices. The biggest concern is stagflation. You know what stagflation is?
No, I do not.
I want you to add unemployment. Let's talk about the worst storm you could have, in business. How about slow growth? Okay, so we're not seeing growth. High unemployment and inflation equals stagflation. The Fed insists we are not in a period of stagflation, which is the most dangerous condition we could be in, which we're probably not because things are starting to come around.
Right.
But they're going to keep this thing at 5.25, 5.5 till the end of the year. And they're going to try to make it painful so we stop spending money.
Well, they also, didn't they, or they've also redefined what a recession is?
No. No. This administration.
Excuse me, that's what I meant to say.
More Big Biz coming up. So fresh off our chat about betting, what is the name of that company again? Prize Picks.
P-I-C-S or P-I?
P-R-I-Z is in zoo.
Yeah.
E, Prize Picks. Zoo.
But Picks, P-I-C.
Or Zulu. Zoolander. Sorry.
Zoolander.
I'm so surprised you didn't go there.
I know. I should have. Yeah. I'm good with the phonetic alphabet.
Big hello to the Day Trader trio over there. I haven't said hello to them today.
Love those guys.
Yep. Wow. James East, Brian Jordan, Trace Sojourn Hodgins. Great to see you guys today. Of course, of the band Sullivan. May sound familiar. Have some music coming out very shortly, right, Mary?
Very shortly.
Coming up. Oh,
Very
yeah.
shortly. I can't wait.
I think we're leaking them out one at a time, right, Jamo? Yeah, we are. Is that how they do it? That's how they do it these days? One.
For streaming, because you can only try to get on the DSPs, digital streaming platforms. You can only go
DSPs, man.
I know. I got the
We're
lingo.
getting on the DSPs, babe.
But you try to get on their playlists.
Yeah.
And you can only do one song at a time. So you don't want to.
dare they.
You don't want to release 6 at a time because only one of the 6 could get on the.
The stuff you've played on, it was back in the days you used to sell albums, right, Brian? James, right?
Absolutely, CDs and.
Right, so units, right?
Yeah.
They don't sell units. So right now, if you stream a song 1 million times, it's $3,000 to you as an artist. That's it. And I think you still have to pay your agent, your manager out of that.
Oh.
But if you're Taylor Swift and you're the top 12 songs on Billboard, right?
But billion streams, think of it this way, billion streams, okay? Not million, billion, okay? 1,000 million times 3.
Yep.
So 3,000 million, so 3,000 times 3,000 million times 3,000. Okay?
A lot of zeros.
That's a lot of zeros. That's a lot of zeros. 3,000 million times 3,000 is $9 billion, I think.
Okay.
Something crazy. I don't know. Anyway, great to have you along today. Speaking of which, I continue to get emails about this stuff because and I'm not even part of the management of our band or anything else. I let you guys stay in my lane. I continue to get emails phishing me, scamming me about guaranteed getting you on Billboard magazine.
All the time.
All the time.
Yes.
And guess who I have here today to help us out? Steve J.J. Wiseman, the Scam Man, is here. The truth about avoiding scams, about 19 other books, scamicide.com. Appearing as an apparition at Hogwarts today. He's at Bentley University. Do you still have your llamas?
No, the llama's no longer with us.
The llamas, I say llamas because we're in,
Yeah. Sure,
we're near the border.
Yep.
You're in Boston or near there. Where do you have land to put llamas? Is it on the 3rd floor of the apartment or what? Like
basement.
The interesting thing is I live out in western Massachusetts and I've got acres of land and then go back to eastern Massachusetts to practice law and teach. And which I was interested in what you were saying about the lack of need for many occupations for college education, being a college professor. And I'm totally in agreement with you. An interesting thing pushing my good old Bentley is Bentley is one of the top 3 schools in the country as far as starting salaries for students. It's Bentley, Caltech, and MIT. But the thing is, it's a business college. So these kids are coming out with accounting and analytics degrees. But I look around and see college degrees, and I don't want to mention the majors, and that's just throwing money away.
Hey, Steve, so these phishing emails of mine regarding getting us fame and fortune in the music business, it's the same in anything. I hear that non-published authors are getting the same things. Keynote speakers are getting the same things. It's across the board. Is this something you've heard of before?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, an author I represent sent me one about what they're going to do with their book and the movie rights and all of this. The phishing emails and spear phishing, which is specifically targeted to you, so they know that you're in the music business. This is something that is getting worse, and it's getting worse because of artificial intelligence. In the past, we would get some of these that weren't necessarily written that well. They weren't necessarily targeted with all of this information about you. But with AI now available, you're seeing these emails come in, often from outside of the country where English isn't even the primary language, but it sounds great because of artificial intelligence being able to make it look good. So we're about to enter the AI era of scams. And although AI is a double-edged sword, can be used to defend, right now the bad guys are using it much more effectively.
And Stephen, actually, I self-published a book many years ago, and I just got a similar email that came to me from somebody that wanted to publish it and make it into a movie. And then
it was a how-to book on how to make pudding.
And not only, though, did I get an email, I got 2 phone calls with voice messages, but they sounded like they.
Is that the cloning technology that they're using? Is that what that is?
You get it. Yeah, the voice cloning technology is getting so much better. They can use as little as now about 15 seconds of someone's voice that they get from a YouTube or an Instagram, and so it can be totally believable. They can sound like whoever they want. The other area, which is really getting bad, you're all familiar with the romance scams. Well, now one of the ways we used to tell people to avoid the romance scam is to ask them to do a video chat with you. Go on Zoom, because they're not going to look like who they really.
I asked for video. They would never talk to me again. I don't understand why.
Well, the cloning of voices.
Now the technology is such that they can do a video with you which will look like the person that they are posing as. The way around that is you use something like a reverse image search, like TinEye, and Google has them. And you take that image, you put it in there, and you certainly find out that it is not the person that they say they are. But this technology is being used and weaponized so greatly.
And I think there was a big case that just maybe cracked today or recently called the grandparent scam or something.
That's been around for a while.
Yeah, and I think today
I'm stuck in Costa Rica, Grandma. I need $3,000.
Yes, and that is crazy because they're
5 years now. They've been doing the same. That's like the Nigerian letter scam, or Ethiopia. Is it Nigerian letter scam?
Nigerian,
yes.
But there was just a big case.
Allegedly,
they just arrested about 19 people on this.
Yeah, they busted them. These are major rings, and the interesting thing, like you mentioned, even Nigeria, a lot of these grandparent scams are coming from African countries like Nigeria and others. Ghana is another country where they're coming from. And with the voice cloning technology, they sound exactly like the grandparent, or we say grandparent scam, but it's also family emergency.
My mom sends me an email once a week or a text.
Yeah.
Bobby, are you in Rosarita again? Well, as a matter of fact, Mom, I am. Why do you?
This time I am.
Have you guys, anybody in the studio, have you guys ever fallen for a scam ever online?
No.
I got to tell you, when they first came out with the phishing scams, I ended up with a thing on my computer.
Oh, yeah.
This is 20 years ago when I first met Steve. In fact, I think that's how I met him.
Steve, real quickly, what's the percentage of these scams that get shut down and people get prosecuted? Is it less than 10%?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's very difficult. Particularly, they're difficult to trace. And even if they shut down some of these sites on the dark web where they have the information, boom, they just pop up somewhere else. So it's and then you get a lot of them coming from foreign countries like North Korea and Russia and China. They're not cooperating.
Jeez.
Steve Husband, we'll see you next week, buddy. I want more of you. Have you seen those things on, what are those things I watch right before I fall asleep?
Your phone, Instagram.
Reels.
Oh.
Where these guys are like, hey, Michael, I see that you're wearing a blue sweatshirt, and these guys are hacking into people hacking him. They're hacking, like they can see what they're wearing.
Yeah.
They can put a password on their computer. These guys, these hackers are hacking them.
Oh,
Really?
love that.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
fantastic.
big fan of that.
I want to see a full TV
Yeah,
show.
right?
Big Biz Show. Stand by.
Sully, you said we were doing a doc on a day in the life of a banker, on what I do every day. And you're giving me this guy? No. Why do I care if his sister's gonna quit because we fire him? Fine. Yes, I understand. Yeah, I'll make it work. Take. Nice.
So you ready to be besties or what?
So apparently in my contract, there's an obligation to do a few one-off interviews. Luckily, the topic is fairly broad, so I thought we could discuss something extremely critical to the entire economy and the lifeblood of our economic system, Wall Street bankers. So if I had to describe my life on a, day-to-day.
Okay, I'm gonna be kind of real with you guys. I just cut the record there because I was getting a little bit bored with whatever he was saying. But to summarize, Howie really likes his job. He thinks you guys should like it too. What else did he say? The stock market's stocking. Bitcoin's bitcoining. What else did he say?
Well, recent cuts have affected the T&E budget, so we're on the subway. Don't talk to me.
But I think me and Howie are becoming really good friends, I think he's really starting to come around and, I think he likes me, It's kind of cool making a new friend out of all this.
So, I have a feeling Devin didn't even hit record on this one. I'm doing it myself, and frankly, this guy's a nightmare. Go film some historical stuff, like Washington's inaugural site.
But where are you gonna go?
Gonna go to work.
But I just don't understand how I'm supposed to see what you do if I'm looking at the George Washington Monument.
You're the one that called asking for a day in the life of a Wall Street banker. Going literally to Wall Street to bank. Is that very hard to understand? I mean, all I'm saying is when I go to San Diego, it's one thing that he's there. But he's following me back home? This is ridiculous. What's going on?
You gotta get in the shot, Howie.
We're gonna have to walk all the way around.
So, what do? How are we gonna get in?
Listen, I tried to get us in, but I owe Jim Kramer 10 grand. He's not letting anything happen. We can't shoot in there.
Why do you owe Jim Kramer 10 grand? And what does Seinfeld have to do with this?
Oh my God, it's not even worth explaining.
It was interesting seeing, the Wall Street banker in his natural environment, just cruising through the subways and scowling at children.
I severely dislike children.
He did take me to go see something about a bull and a bear on the street, and then somehow money gets made. Usually, when we want to see something like that in San Diego, we just go to Tijuana, but it's my first time in New York, so I'm trying to keep an open mind.
Behind me, you'll see a staple of Wall Street tourism, the bronze bear. Behind me is a staple of historical Wall Street tourism, the bronze bear of Wall Street. No, it's not a bear, it's a bull. It's a bull. Behind me is a staple of Wall Street tourism, the bronze bull. Historically, being bullish has meant that you have a positive outlook on the market, whereas if you have a bearish outlook, you have a negative outlook, like Costa.
Hey, what are you guys filming? He's talking about his job where he milks a bear and bull for money.
What? That's not what I do. What are you talking about?
Embarrassingly enough, actually, I still, at the end of this, have no idea what a Wall Street banker does. I do know apparently they're very secretive.
I still don't know what you do.
It's a good question.
Yeah, but it's the whole point we're here. Do you work for the CIA?
Reporting here for BizTV at Broadway and Beaver, there seems to be a giant windstorm, and it's not your finances. It's actually freaking wind, man. It's pretty cool. Anyways, you're watching the Big Biz Show here at Wall Street.
Why does he look like the Big get
Oh my God. There are more to come, by the way. Oh, thank God. I believe there may be one where somebody hits their head and they switch personalities.
Like a Freaky Friday thing?
Freaky Friday?
Yeah.
Freaky Friday? Freaky Friday, Devin? No?
He's looking like Big Lebowski a little bit with that hair and
Like the dude?
the dude. Yeah. He's looking
I also
like the
think,
dude.
I feel like imagine a Freaky Friday where Devin shows up clean shaven and Howie's got some freaking hobo beard that looks like. That'd be awesome. Looks like the guy from Duck Dynasty or Philly center fielder. Marsh. Did you see Marsh? I love him. Is it true? Does he not wash his hair?
No, he puts olive oil in it.
Oh, olive oil?
Yeah, right? Matt? He's
tuning out.
Yeah, he puts olive oil in it.
Right.
Couldn't flop over when he's playing baseball. So if you look at his college pictures,
yeah.
Jason Marsh, I think. Matt's got his headphones on, he can't hear me. He's a handsome, like a Tom Brady handsome guy.
Let's pull him up.
Can you pull up Marsh from the Pull him up from the Phillies.
Yeah.
You'll find him. But he likes long hair and looks like a hillbilly. You know?
Yeah, he just
handsome dude though. Great hitter.
Great hitter.
Unbelievable. Great hitter.
Yeah.
Howie joins us. Howie Font, of course, the subject of all of Devin's falterall, joins us here from New York City. There he is with the best hairline in the world.
Oh man, look at that helmet. Jealous.
Wait.
Did not know I was gonna have to watch that again.
Is that the Statue of Liberty behind you? Look at that. Beautiful. I didn't notice that. Hey, I have a question for you. You and I have talked about the Japanese yen for some time. And back in I'm going to call it 21, Japanese yen started languishing in terms of value. And it's been a bit of a crisis these days because I think since 2021, Howie, you could correct me if I'm wrong, the yen has lost a third of its value. This is Japan, kids.
Oof.
This is a major economy here, or at least was. Howie, talk about that.
I wish that was wrong. I wish it was wrong because it's a bellwether for the U.S. and that's why we're talking about it, right? So I don't know if you guys or the audience has seen, but over the weekend there was kind of a currency crisis in Japan, and the currency dropped about 20%, and we're just finding out today that there's evidence and then subsequent reporting by the Bank of Japan.
I thought over the weekend you were going to say you lost your left arm. So I was going to say, so sorry about that.
It's kind of like losing your left arm if your money loses 20% of its purchasing power.
Stop moving. There you go. Just stay still.
Machine.
So over the weekend, how much did the yen? The yen, this is not the yuan, Chinese yuan. This is the Japanese yen, by the way.
The Japanese yen lost about 20%. It dipped, and it only stayed at 20% because we're just finding out now that the Bank of Japan actually injected $50 billion into the market. So
so what happens? Hey, Mary. Get a plane ticket, go shopping now. Right?
Holy
crap. The U.S. dollar.
That would help them. That would be good.
It would help them. Plus, you'd get a lot of bargains. I can tell you that.
Howie, it was like 25.
Here's why it's important. The Japanese debt to GDP ratio is 238%. Okay, we're just a bit above 130, something around there. They're 100% more than we are percentage-wise, and they own a lot of our debt, and they're a large economy. I mean, Japan is not a podunk country. So it kind of tells you, hey, we're approaching the limit here. The U.S. has more room than Japan does, but it just makes you think, what is our currency worth? And, what's the price of eggs and all that? I mean,
exactly right. And this is a fiat currency we're talking about. Keep in mind, when you say Japan owns a debt, we're talking about T-bills, T-bonds, treasury funds, so on and so forth. So this is not necessarily a bad thing that they own our stuff. The problem is that how does this affect? Listen, if you don't think we're in a global economy, look no further than what's going to happen in the next couple of months with all currencies in the East. And I would say, Howie, you spent a considerable amount of time in Korea. You actually speak Korean. Does this start affecting that region of the world first, and then here, or does it go who their biggest trade partner is?
Well, in the investing world, you kind of see Japan as separate. There's all these indexes. It's Asia x Japan. Japan is a totally different force than the rest of Asia and trades a lot differently than China, for example. But I think it's a bellwether for modern first world nations. Korea is going to have a lot of the same issues because they're in a pretty similar situation. But It's not something that the UK or Europe or even us are immune to.
Howie, what about the derivatives market? That is the biggest shoe that has yet to drop here in the world economy. We're talking about options. We're talking about even like the mortgage crisis was a derivative of the mortgage business. That's the derivatives market, and that is creating financial products based upon existing financial products for the purpose of either expanding the ability to reach more investors, or in some cases, the bad guys just want to make commissions. Long story short, that overshadows us, China, India, and almost everyone else. Any chance that a currency crisis like this could trigger an event in the derivative markets?
Well, it's just building up the house of cards. So it doesn't. The derivatives themselves don't cause a problem, but they magnify a problem, just like they magnify these investors' returns. Except the whole society pays the costs of the thing going bust and the economy crashing if something happens. So we really do want to watch that.
Howie, you didn't get to San Diego to defend yourself. Devin's here. You're there. Yeah.
I have not heard the end of it.
Well, apparently you ripped your arm off the last time you were together. So,
or at least bit a big chunk of it.
Somebody put a cup out. Let's get a little bit of dough here. Let me put something.
All right. Yeah, we got to get him here.
Throw a bucket.
Arm for Howie. We're good friends with the Challenge Athletes Foundation. I'm not kidding. We're title sponsors there. I'm going to call Bob Babbitt in knucklehead.
Big Biz Show. Hope you guys are having a great day. We always appreciate the fact that you're hanging out with us, especially right here at the bar. Costa, Marybird Godwin, our executive producer, Greg Todoroff, and the man with the plan, Sully.
And like Costa. We're having a great time here in Las Vegas. Big Biz Show, man. Cats and kids. We're having a great time.
It's such
I
a
left
bummer.
my heart at the Big Biz Show.
It's such a bummer he's gone.
I know, isn't
God,
it?
he was.
Sully, Tony Bennett Sullivan.
Oh my God, he was so good.
You knew who that was, right, Mary? You knew that was Tony Bennett that he was doing.
Oh, you didn't?
You didn't know that was Tony
Hey, we're having a great time.
Seriously,
Mr. Positive. Never once had like.
Oh, he's phenomenal.
Hey, we're having a great time.
Like, no kidding.
Yeah.
And
who do we? Who's next, Greg?
I think we got Alon Goren.
Oh, our
the crypto guy.
Crypto guy.
Crypto
We
guy.
love Alon.
Love Alon.
Alon, what's up, brother? Great
A lot
to
of
see
questions for
you. Alon, look at him there. Look at Mr.
Oh, look at him right here.
Mr. Menlo Park.
I'm just trying to perpetuate all the super ruggedly handsome crypto dude stereotypes.
It's funny. Mary was just saying that, Mr. Draper, Goren, and Holmes. Is it Draper Goren now? Did I get that right, or is it Draper Goren?
Yeah, Draper Goren blockchain, DGB.
DGB. Oh, look at you.
Rebrand.
Wait, back up. Let's see that. Did you have it on your shirt there? Did you really?
I have it on my shirt.
Boom, Yahtzee.
Living in the DGB.
Right. You down with DGB?
I met Alon. I don't know how long ago it was when I met you. It has to be 10 years now.
Yeah, I think the first time I mentioned crypto, I heard sirens in the background, and you guys were like, "What the heck is going on here?"
That's exactly right. And you were a crowdfunding expert back in the day. You actually had a crowdfunding summit a number of times, and then you moved over into crypto investing, Bitcoin, Ethereum, venture capital, 805 startups, 100. So first of all, their website dgb.vc. dgb.vc. I'll put that up on the website for us too.
This is a newish thing, right?
Yeah, well, this is a rebrand of this is just, for me, it's this evolution of Alon Goren.
Yeah.
But Alon, let me ask you something. So I've been approached with a trading platform for crypto which is really robust to invest in. And in fact, I want to show it to you, by the way, just because you're a friend, but I want you to see it. But I think also there's something about crypto and digital currency that is still bugging the back of my mind, and that is A, it's a 24-hour market. B, it's not as regulated as I am used to. I'm not saying it's not regulated, it's just not as regulated as I'm used to. What gives you the sense of calmness to go to sleep at night when you've got the same concerns or had the same concerns at one point?
Yeah.
Talk about that piece of it for me.
I think it's really a major bummer as an American to see something that's like so innovative, creating tons of jobs and creating tons of wealth and opportunities that, we aren't regulating it properly, or we're just kind of standing back and watching it instead of participating actively, because like I think I've said this in the past, is for my first time ever, I'm seeing Americans that like to talk a big game. Like, if this happens, I'm going to Canada, I'm going there. But they're like, young people are actually moving. I'm meeting entrepreneurs who are in Singapore and other places who are American. So from the regulatory standpoint, it's not great here. They're not giving us enough clarity to make it exciting. But from my standpoint, being early stage venture, it feels a lot like the early days of social media, or the early days of the
really
internet.
good. What a great analogy.
Elon, is the fact that the regulation isn't where you would like to be, is it because there are just so many people that really don't have a true grasp and meaning of what this could be for us?
I think that, I want to be fair to the politicians.
Blast it, come on.
But the thing is, I think that, it's one of those things that people say, like, stupid or liar, right? I think that career politicians who are on the Financial Services Committee, they're on the Financial Services Committee for a reason. They're really smart and they know what they're doing. And for the longest time, it was against their best interest to open this market up. And now I think they're realizing that that's backfiring, right? And the most successful ETFs in the history of ETFs have been these Bitcoin ones. And so I think that they're going to, change their minds or find a right path soon. And I think that's going to be really great for us. But like I mentioned before, early days of the internet, I have a slide in our presentation that I'll send over to you that basically it's a big slide that says no one starts an internet company anymore.
Yeah.
The next slide is every company is an internet company now.
That's really true.
So, we're streaming this online, not just on TVs, and the TVs are getting it over the internet. But when you go and talk about your show, you don't say, I started an internet show.
Right.
You just have a great show. Just like a person starting a restaurant right now doesn't go, something special about my restaurant is you're going to be able to order online. If you didn't have that ability, you wouldn't be able to even start a restaurant.
That's exactly right.
Right? So this is where the blockchain is going, not necessarily crypto tokens, like dog coins and meme coins, but where the back-end database of all transactions are going to happen more transparently because there's less and less trust.
Hey, Elon, so just for a little infotainment and education here for our audience, venture capital is usually when a company has demonstrated that they have something that's bigger, better, faster, stronger, cheaper, some proprietary advantage, they've got a good management team, they've got somebody on there that's taken someone has done an exit, and it's usually a 7-year play as an investor. Yeah. Private equity, during that time, will come in and say, you know what, we're going to take out all of the convertible notes, and I'll explain that later. We're going to take out all the other, and we're going to give you partial exit. We still want you to run this thing, so on and so forth. How does that fit into your world? Because you are really in the venture capital world and also a private equity world, but you're also in the crypto world as well. How do you merge those three together?
So to me, it's all about the all about the vision, right? And what we want to do and where we want to go. And I treat this industry and I approach it from the VC perspective in the earliest stage, right? The earliest stage VCs are exactly what you're talking about. 7 years is actually kind of short, right? It's 7 to 10 years to get an exit from inception of the company if they're successful. So I look at it from that perspective. And if a company wants to create their value in tokens, create their value in equity, or however they want to do it, I'm cool with it as long as it's legal. And I'm not investing in it for that short-term return. I'm going for the next 10 years. But we do have to pay attention to what you're talking about because the IPO markets, all those things are gone, right? So you have
Elon, you gotta get down to San Diego again, man. Come on.
I know.
Get in
I gotta come into the studio.
Get over here. Thank you, buddy. Elon Goren, of course. Draper, Goren, blockchain, dgb.vc is their website. That does it for us.
DGB.
DGB.
Another DGB. What's up with this?